It's Catalina Martone, and we are Body Ecology in the kitchen. And I'm excited because I don't know if you know, but making cultured veggies is just something I love, 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 love. And so we're gonna make a version here that I've actually never made. And I just want to show you how easy it is. In the other cultured veggie video, you'll see a slightly more let's say complex way of doing it, and this is just a super easy way of doing it. And I decided to try and make a salsa and just let you know that it's so easy. You just throw whatever veggies you want, and I promise you it will work out. So as you know, cultured vegetables are so incredibly valuable and beneficial for you, and they've helped me get really well, and that's why I am such a fan. Something that I want to point out to you is a lot of people say, what's the difference between fermented and cultured? Cultured means we add a probiotic to our ferment, making it cultured. So we add a culture to our ferment to make it cultured. And the reason we do that is because it adds more probiotics to the product, which is the reason we eat these in the first place. So let's get to it. So what you need is some jars always. And I just happen to have these pretty ones. These are like gift jars, you know, they're so nice. And this is just a random jar I had in the fridge, in the cupboard for a while. I'm going to really pack this version up with some delicious, wonderful, smart things. The Eco Bloom, which is a prebiotic. It's a long chain form sugar that is from chicory root, and it actually is food for the beneficial bacteria. And a lot of people say, why is that necessary? And I liken it to bringing home a couple of like baby hamsters as pets and not bringing any hamster food. It's like, well, they're not going to do very well. So this is like the food for the bacteria. Anyway, we need our culture starter, not our kefir starter. Okay, this is the culture starter. I'm going to use some cayenne pepper because I want to make it kind of spicy. I'm going to throw in some of Body Ecology's ancient minerals. These are just all really fabulous minerals, alkalizing, amazing for the body, just one of the most important fundamental things that you need in life. You can't even absorb your vitamins without your minerals. So we're going to do that guy. I have a magic bullet here. For those of you who don't know magic bullet or NutriBullet, get on the train, folks, because it's going to pass you by. It's incredible to have this handy in the house. And I've put in a couple of tablespoons of parsley because I had it just in the fridge and it was starting to get a little dried out. So I threw it in here with some water because I want to make a brine. And you don't have to do this, but if you're making the cultured veggies our way, you do have to do it. So I'm going to put our prebiotic in here, our Eco Bloom, into our brine. I'm going to put a few of our ancient minerals. I'm going to open the capsule. Ooh, so beautiful, so dark and rich. This looks good for you, let me tell you. Okay, so I put 2 capsules in there. This is where I'll put our, I'm going to put it, because you don't want to put too much. I like to put all my spices into this brine because it just disperses them evenly. That's why. I'm going to put a little more just because my husband likes spicy stuff. Of course he does. Okay, and then, what am I forgetting? Hello, culture starter. This is very important. We're going to open our culture starter and we are going to just put it right into there. Okay, and then we'll put our little lid on. I like to put salt when my veggies are done. You can put them after. Now remember, if you put the salt in the beginning, now at this point, you have to ferment that product for at least 4 days, maybe even more. Because if you do a younger ferment, the salt could potentially damage the bacteria. So I would leave it for later, unless you're going to ferment it for like 10 days. But what I have in here is, you don't want to really ferment for a long time, and I'll explain that in a moment. Okay. That's it. We don't need to do anything too crazy. All right, now what I have for you here is I've taken 3 daikon radishes and I've chopped them into itty bitty little bite-sized pieces. I have about a handful of kale and I've shredded it, minced it into the food processor. I took 4 tomatoes and I've thrown those into the food processor. Which unfermented are not on the Body Ecology diet. Fermented, they are. That's because all the sugar is eaten out of them when they're fermented by the bacteria that are going to go in here. I have some red onion chopped up, minced up, and I have 3 cloves of garlic. I love garlic. So this is like going to be a salsa. You would potentially put that into a, use it as a salsa, like eat it with blue chips or something. Maybe put some avocado in there when it's all done. So, okay, here we're going to go ahead and take our brine and pour it in to our veggies. I'm not going to put all of it yet. I don't want too much juice in there. Now, what I was saying about not fermenting this one too long is because there are tomatoes in it and leafy greens in it. And when you ferment leafy greens and tomatoes, they ferment really quickly. That's all I'm saying. So this is going to be like a 3 or 4 day ferment. I love using daikon in almost everything because it absorbs the flavors of stuff, of the spices and the onions. So, daikon just by itself is like a radish, but it doesn't have a strong radish flavor. It's just really mild. So when you put it into this, it absorbs whatever you put in it. And it's crunchy. It stays crunchy in the fermented veggies. Okay, so that's it. I've just squeezed these guys just to mix it. You don't need to squeeze them as much as you would if there was cabbage in there or carrots, because they're not as dense. So this is it. This is it. All you got to do is pack it up. Pack it up, pack it in. Okay. Just try to get it so that you have it really packed in there so that it's not a lot of air loose in this guy. Okay. Clean off the edge there. So you see that's really packed up to the top. So there is a little bit of controversy out there right now that veggies are cultured veggies and fermented foods are getting so popular. And people are getting worried about bacteria growing and that, lacto-fermenting something like this and just putting a lid on it and not having a fancy lid to pull all the air out of it is dangerous because other bacteria gets in there and mold and it becomes bad for you. Well, guess what? I'm here to tell you that I've done the research, and so has Donna Gates, and I've also consulted with some people who are at the top of their game where this is concerned. And there's something called competitive inhibition. And competitive inhibition means that when you're going to add a culture to this, so we're adding probiotics, beneficial bacteria to this, that they're going to always outnumber the pathogens. So even if there is a little bit of mold, it's very difficult to avoid molds and pathogens. We're surrounded by bacteria. I mean, if you could see them with some special glasses like bacteria X-ray vision, you would be probably creeped out because we would be covered with them. This jar, I don't care how pristine an environment you're in, you cannot avoid the bad bacteria. So this competitive inhibition concept, scientific term, is stating that because we've outnumbered the bad guys with a bunch of good guys, the pathogens cannot become virulent in this product. They can't be bad for you. So there's that. And I've been eating these for a long time, and so have a lot of my clients, so have a lot of people that I know. Donna Gates lives on these. I've given them, I've never, ever, 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 ever seen anybody get sick from these veggies. So you can get the fancy jars, you can get the fancy lids, you can do what you like, but that's the science. And I'm sticking to it. So, all right, here you go. There's, I have enough here left over. What I'll do is I'll add my brine in there and find another little salad dressing jar that I can ferment that with, and then I'll have some salad dressing. You can see it's just more juicy, but that'll be a beautiful salad dressing once it's fermented. It'll be a beautiful salad dressing now because it's ready to eat, really. So here we go. I'm not going to put a cabbage leaf on top of this one because I just want you to I want to prove to you that it's not really 100% necessary that you need to worry about mold and whatnot. If you open the lid and there's any kind of mold on the top of the lid or on the vegetables that are at the surface, take a spoon, clean it out, wipe the lid, or even better, dump it into another container and you'll be fine. So let me wash my hand off. I get so excited when I make these veggies. I just can't tell you. I've got so much to say about it. That's why. So we're going to put our lid on this guy and this guy. Tighten them up pretty good, but I guarantee you the bacteria that are in these are so alive and bubbly, they're going to push the lid up a little bit and they're going to leak a little bit. And that's just okay. You just have to go in and tighten them up again. And that's why you have to ferment them in a tub. I call it the crib. So what I do is I take my heating pad, especially in the colder months out here in LA, I put because it gets so cold here, I put the heating pad on medium and I set this on top and I put my fermented veggies into the little crib. My kefir, my coconut kefir, my dairy kefir, I put it all into this little tub. And then this one's just gonna stay for about 4 or 5 days, that's it. And then it'll be done. And then I'll stick it into the fridge and chill it. And then it'll be ready. And it's gonna be divine. Cultured veggie salsa.